Alright, so we are going to revisit clan battle probably for the one last time. So I know we still have 5 more days left to finish out the clan battle, but I just want to give you guys a quick update in terms of what I found to be the most optimal setup. So my current score for my clan is 19, so I want to say by the time this is actually over, we should be, I don't know, like I think right around there should where we usually finish things off. As far as my individual right now, I score my best is a 20.95, so that's pretty good. But when we do take a look at the full roster, you guys can see as far as the individual, we got a lot of hackers, so that's always happen every season or every month. So the most accurate high score I think is from this player, 84k. 84k on average, you need to score, I want to say somewhere around 27, 25 around there to hit that. So me personally, I am like missing out 5k per run. So that's in terms of my team setup. I don't think I can possibly do that just because of what do I have. But all right, so what is the ultimate strategy? Like, what is the best team that I think I can humanly possibly get? It's gonna be this one. So this iteration turns out to be one of the more stable and very consistent. So by the time you guys are watching this, I do already have my Xeon at, what is it, at P4. I actually dropped in, I want to say 4 more motis, and within those 4 motis I was able to get, what is it, 3 more copies or 2 more copies. So at P2, unit enhancement wise is definitely fairly important. I went with HP, main weapon, one with 21 power, and then 31 EXQ gauge, 11 EXQ gauge on that one, and 31 on that. So the reason being why these are fairly important, because every time we attack in terms of the full rotation, we have just enough where after the every other attacks we accumulate EXQ. It was just enough where we can pop the EXQ right after that. So the initial one we should be able to pop fairly effective with 14, 6, and 14 on the distribution right there. This one I would love that one to get up to like a 51, but unit enhancement points has been pretty scarce lately just because I've been, you know, just dumping them into numerous units. We have this guy, we have Sasabi, just gonna be running these modules. Ultimately, this is just to stun, nothing else, nothing more than that. This Gundam is fully at P5 and T5 obviously. Same thing for Roxanne, so she is fully maxed out. Phoenix, unfortunately my Phoenix is not done, so we are missing about 7% damage taken from the enemy. We could have done way better for this unit, but it is what it is. But the key unit is definitely this guy. This guy has made a return to being pretty dominant in this one specifically, just because of the evasion that we have. So evasion on here, or this one specifically, and every time we gain EXQ gauge when evading, works out like a charm because we are able to dash EXQ damage a lot, so that helps out. It's not like the biggest amount ever, but every one of those does actually help out. And then we also do have Kshatriya just for the minuscule buffing that we can get, 26%, so that's actually pretty nice. Other than that, the only thing to note is that since this is a generic unit and we know that the enemy targets generic unit, we need to make sure that the Sasabi has the highest HP for the generic, so Phoenix is not the highest, so we just gotta make sure that. So there are a lot of generic currently you can't really run if you are going with a strategy. But other than that, module wise, I do want to make sure we have enough evasion, 27, so 21 here. Some extra stats, extra damage right there, so that should be fine. Okay, so we kind of got everything covered. Let's hop in with this team, and we'll probably do a few run just because I know there are going to be a lot of fluctuation, and that's usually how it is. You might have to change things around, or you might just have to reopen the app, or whatever you have to do. Sometimes you just get that one really good score and you have to wait another 50 tries or something like that. The optimal setup is going to lean either on the right or the left because, well, let me kind of explain. Because Phoenix is not a team-wide buffer or a debuffer, so I can't just place it out here and expect these guys to. So when these guys are attacking this unit, we kind of expect them to have the same debuff. So that's why we want to make sure everyone is literally targeting the same unit. So that is actually the strategy. So I kind of figured that out after I did the initial run. So by the time you guys are watching this, I do hope that you guys had made your adjustment and kind of get a good scoring. But please don't get, please don't pass me. I'm just kidding. You guys can pass me if you want. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, because the moment I made this video, if you guys know how to do a better setup than me, that's more power to you. I don't really care about that. But this is the setup ultimately, and then hopefully Xeon and Gundam don't get targeted too much, because they cannot fall below a certain amount of HP, and it's not gonna be great. So let's hop in with this. And I guess we can focus our attention to Xeon. So Xeon should be able to pop EXQ fairly quick out here. So Sasabi pop is already, and Xeon, it is just about to pop its first EXQ. So I think after the last, yeah, we had just enough where we are able to just immediately pop it, so that was good. And you guys can see Sasabi damage is actually quite impressive in this run, just because of all the evading. So look at that. Could this be a good run actually? Alright, so you guys can see Xeon was actually stuck in that frame where we just didn't have enough gauge to use the EXQ. So that was a pretty unfortunate circumstances, because we could have been charging like a separate EXQ, but that happened. So I mean, there's nothing that we could have done. Alright, so this one is probably on track to just be... Hold up. Oh, are we just gonna get 20? Okay. We got a 20.2k first try on the camera, so that is good. So, okay. So, a 20k point, you're expecting overall damage to have something like this. So, remaining HPR damage dealt. So you're expecting this amount of damage dealt to double Zeta, so that's pretty nice actually. All the others are probably from EXQ damage from just Xeon, I would say. So that's pretty darn good actually. Yeah, but this is pretty nice with there. So I think we'll probably give it another 2 runs, and then we'll see if we are gonna get something consistent to this. Alright, let's kind of see. I think this should be fine. We can do this as well. It doesn't really matter which way they go. They just can't be over here or over here or over here, because they made sure when they set this up, if you put it somewhere in here, it's gonna target them. It's not gonna target this guy right here, unless you have, no, I wouldn't say even Sagud wouldn't make the difference, because all of them are Gundam types. So yeah, I take that back. But let's see how this one works. But let's actually put our attention to Sasabi. So Sasabi should just be taking all the hits while evading and gaining the damage. So that is ultimately what we want the unit to do. Okay. This one we are not actually racking up as much damage as I wanted to. A little bit strange right there actually. Just strange. Yeah. This one, I guess the game AI isn't responding like that, I would say, because like normally we would have been racking up a lot of damage, or at least being targeted. Okay. I don't think this one is gonna be the best run out there, just because right now we are already at 16k with 10 seconds remaining. Yeah, this is not gonna be the best scoring. Yeah, this one is not it. Yeah. Well, I think this one is definitely due to Sasabi just not receiving the attack at the beginning. So even though Xeon busts out like another 8.4 million, but it didn't really matter because Sasabi was missing like a good chunk, right? So the highest I have seen Sasabi reach was actually somewhere around the 5 million mark. So yeah, we underperformed hugely in this one. So we gotta run it back one last time, and then I think that should be it. I don't think I need to change anything, or I can probably try a different setup just to show you guys it's not gonna be as effective. But I'm gonna do this one last run, and then we'll hop back to maybe like a different setup. All right, this round we can actually change things up. I can put Xeon right there, and we can see would that make a difference. I say it's gonna be like maybe like a slight variation. I wouldn't expect anything too different. Okay, let's kind of see. We popped the EX skill right array, so that's good. Just the charging aspect is still slow. I wouldn't say it's anything ridiculously fast. And alright, we just popped another one. That's good. Good damage right there thus far. If we can keep this up, that would be golden. Like I just think we need to land the hits. Landing the hit for sure is gonna allow us to into victory, right? Just getting that really high score. Or probably EX skill right off the bat. That's good. Okay, yeah, constantly stunning double Zeta is actually a good thing because accuracy is not really gonna be the biggest difference. Like it's just more at that point in time. It's a matter of like, all right, can we land the attack? Oh, this one is good. Wow, a 21.2k. That's actually my highest. Yeah, that is actually my highest. Okay, that was good. That is actually really nice. So let's check things out. Alright, yeah, 21.92 or 21.290. It's good. It's good. Over damage. Wow, Xeon did a 8.7. While Sasabi did a 5.4. Very impressive. Okay, that's good. That's good. So these two definitely. It honestly depends because you have to take into the consideration that the range sense has to be stacked, and if we are not stacking them, repeatedly, we just can't get that output out. And same thing for Sasabi. If we are not evading, we are not getting the upper portion of the range sense from Shaw itself. So this one is good, but I think I'm going to wrap things up by doing one final attempt. I'm going to use some of the other unit that we have. Not going to be this exact team, and then we'll just kind of see how things are going to go. Alright, so we got this set up. This one is actually, we are using the yellow Sasabi. Gotcha lantern right there, and then other than that, I think everything else is pretty much the same thing. I want to see how this team works out actually. Could be interesting, I would say. Then we could do that, and then alright, let's do this actually. This should work a little bit better. So this time around, the yellow Sasabi is going to be the one that's taking the hits because this unit does have increased HP whenever we start the battle. I don't think this unit is going to be too great in this situation just because everyone is targeting this unit, and I just don't think it's gonna be that good. Yeah, damage wise is definitely not the most impressive at the moment, and the fact that Xeon isn't receiving any new buffs from because Sasabi actually does buff Xeon quite a lot with the debuffing and the actual damage buffing because it is the same element being blue. So Xeon in this setup does actually it hurts it a lot. Alright, so with 10 seconds left, we barely rack up to 13k. So yeah, this team is definitely suboptimal. Really, look at that. You can't possibly run this team. There's just no way. There's just no way. Yeah, this team did not synergize too well at all. Alright, so we wrap things up with a 14.7k. So this one is actually just plain awful. A lot of these units does not do too good in here. And Xeon only pop out a 5.4. So missing the buffs from Sasabi actually did hurt it by quite a lot. So unfortunately, this clan battle definitely does call back to time when Sasabi was one of the more dominant units to use, and it definitely shows in this one. Definitely glad that my Sasabi was somewhat up there. Not a lot of unit enhancement because I have pretty much stripped everything off from that unit to place it on some of the other recent ones. So that's why I was like, man, we're missing a lot of stats on that one. But other than that, hopefully you guys can get into some good placements, at least trying to get all the reward that is within the clan battle itself. And then out of that, I'll be catching you guys on the next one.